Ah, Ryan Gosling, the king of on-screen romance. One minute, he's building you a house in The Notebook. The next, he's breaking your heart in Blue Valentine. But what's the real story behind all that Hollywood passion and drama? Well, I'm a couples therapist, and today I'm breaking down some of Ryan Gosling's most iconic relationship scenes. I'll unpack all those juicy, hidden dynamics and reveal the psychology at play. And trust me, after hearing my hot take, you might never look at these characters the same way again. So get comfy and grab the popcorn. We are going to the movies.
Don't you take the easy way out.
Before we get started, a quick intro. Hi, I'm Allie, licensed marriage and family therapist and head of Relationships That Paired, the app that brings couples closer. We've already helped millions of couples improve their relationships. See what the fuss is about by tapping the link in the description. All right, let's jump in. The Notebook. What do you want? Okay, let's start with one of the most iconic movie scenes in the early 2000s, featuring Allie and Noah in The Notebook.
I hate to hurt your feelings. They have like a 2-second rebound rate and you're back doing the next pain in the ass thing. Go! I lost you once. I think I could do it again if I thought it's what you really wanted. But don't you take the easy way out.
What easy way? There is no easy way. No matter what I do, somebody gets hurt.
Would you stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
This scene takes place when Noah confronts Allie by her car, and she's torn between staying with him or following the life her parents expect her to have. And Noah's frustrated because she won't admit what she really wants. Then he pushes her for answers, yelling that famous line over and over. What do you want? On the surface, this could look like a fight about parents and maybe even class differences, but it's also a fight about vulnerability. When Noah shouts, "What do you want?" what he's really saying is, I need to know that I matter to you. I need reassurance that you'll choose me. There's a real fear of rejection here, a fear of not being chosen. And do you notice how Allie freezes up and ultimately walks away? That's super common in conflict. One partner pushes and pushes for answers while the other shuts down and withdraws. So what can you do if this shows up in your own relationship? The key is to shift from pressure to vulnerability. Instead of demanding, what do you want? Try naming the need underneath. I feel scared you don't want the same future as me, and I need to know where we stand. That honesty invites connection instead of defensiveness and withdrawal. And if you're on the receiving end, try to listen past the intensity and hear the deeper need that your partner is struggling to express. When both sides focus on the vulnerability beneath the fight, you create space for real understanding rather than this power struggle. And hey, who knows? If Noah had just said, I'm terrified of losing you and I need to know that you want this too, maybe Allie would have heard him differently. And they could have skipped straight to that sunset ending. Also, that was really toxic and you shouldn't be in a relationship like that because, yeah, relationships are hard, but the relationship shouldn't be that hard at the very beginning. A relationship is hard because you have to work over time to sustain your love. It shouldn't be hard because you're always constantly fighting and always want different things. If that's how the beginning of your relationship is starting, it's probably a good sign to take a step back. I know they end up together in this movie, but in real life, this would not be a happy ending. Next, we've got Blue Valentine. And if you've seen this movie, you know it's basically a masterclass in heartbreak. It follows Cindy and Dean as their marriage slowly unravels. And honestly, it is absolutely packed with relationship dynamics that I could pick apart for hours. But let's focus on one key moment, the kitchen breakup scene.
Maybe you're just thinking about yourself. What about Frankie? You want her to grow up in a broken home? Is that what you want?
I'm thinking about Frankie.
You're not thinking about Frankie. No, you're not. This is how you want her to grow up.
I don't want her to grow up in a home where her parents treat each other like this.
That was uncomfortable, everyone. Let's just say it. That was uncomfortable and really highlights just the dramatic feelings that come up at the end of a relationship, especially when you have a child involved. In this scene, Cindy is trying to leave, and Dean is desperately chasing after her. He's pleading, arguing, even blocking the doorway at times. And notice how Cindy is withdrawn and exhausted. She's emotionally checked out. But by contrast, Dean is frantic. He oscillates between pleading and cajoling, then frustration and anger. Now, this particular fight is really pivotal because of a culmination of years of miscommunication and unmet needs. It's also a textbook case of emotional bids being missed or rejected. So an emotional bid is basically any attempt we make to connect with our partner. It could be something small like asking for help with a task or showing them a new song that you've discovered. And this is really interesting. Psychologist John Gottman researched this in depth and found that how partners respond to emotional bids is one of the strongest predictors of whether a relationship will last. You can either turn toward the bid with interest and support, or turn away by ignoring it and responding with irritation and hostility. And then when he studied married couples, Gottman found that those who stayed together turned toward emotional bids about 86% of the time, whereas couples who eventually divorced only responded to 33% of the partner's emotional bids. The kitchen fight in Blue Valentine shows what happens when those bids are missed again and again. Trust and intimacy break down, and you start to feel invisible until the relationship is hanging by a thread. And what's so real about this scene is that most relationships don't end with one big blow up. They erode slowly through 1,000 missed connections. So yeah, it's crucial to notice and respond to those bids in everyday life. Maybe your partner's showing you a meme that they find funny, asking for your opinion on a work decision, or just reaching for your hand and giving you a squeeze while you're sitting on the couch. Those tiny moments might seem mundane, but they're the glue that keeps you together. If I could have had Cindy and Dean in my therapy office right before this kitchen fight, I'd have told them, answer the bids. Even the weird ones, even the annoying ones, then maybe that super heartbreaking scene could have been avoided. And to add one more piece to this, you can't answer bids after the fact. He's sitting here saying, I'll do anything, I'll do anything, I'll do anything. But guess what? It's too late. If you didn't answer those bids for the last 5 years, why would your partner trust that suddenly you're going to change? Next up, we've got La La Land. On the surface, it's a vibrant musical about love and ambition in Los Angeles. It follows Mia, an aspiring actress, and Sebastian, a jazz musician, as they chase their dreams while navigating the ups and downs of a romantic relationship. This is where the couple discuss their plans for the future and end up in an unexpectedly heated fight.
I don't know what it matters.
Well, it matters because if you're going to give up your dream, I think it matters that you like what you're playing on the road for years.
Do you like the music I'm playing?
Yeah. I do. I just didn't think that you did.
What am I supposed to do? Go back to playing Jingle Bells?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying why don't you
Scraping pennies so I can
take
start
what
a
you've
club that
made
no one
and
wants
start
to
the
go
club.
to?
There, people will want to go to it because you're passionate about it, and people love what other people are passionate about. You remind people of what they
Not
forgot.
my experience.
Here, Mia and Sebastian started with a casual, lighthearted meal, but the mood quickly shifts. So they're talking about Sebastian's decision to stay with the band. He's focused on pursuing stability within his music career, while Mia accuses him of selling out. What's fascinating here is how subtle yet devastating this fight is, because it's not really about who's right. It's about both partners feeling unseen. Sebastian wants security. Mia wants authenticity and passion, and neither of those desires is wrong. But instead of framing it like a shared problem, like, how can we make this work? How can we make room for both of our dreams? They treat it as a win-lose argument, and they fall into a classic conflict pattern. Notice how Sebastian's style is defensive and reactive. He defends his choices and gets frustrated when Mia questions him. And Mia's style is critical and emotional. She voices disappointment, and that can often sound and feel like judgment. Nobody feels heard. The conflict escalates. They're not collaborating, they're competing. And that shift from teammates to opponents is where so many relationships break down. So here's what I would tell Mia and Sebastian if they ever came to me for couples therapy. I'd say, pay attention to not only what you're arguing about, but how you're arguing. Are you defending, criticizing, and attacking? Or are you listening, validating, and looking for common ground. Conflicts about competing life priorities don't need to be a big battle. The key is to remember that you are both on the same side, working towards the same goal. So focus on that rather than winning the argument, and you'll be much more likely to reach a solution. Crazy Stupid Love, Jacob and Hannah's first night together. Next, we've got Crazy Stupid Love. This movie is all about the messy, hilarious, and sometimes painful ups and downs of modern dating. And the lessons totally translate to long-term relationships too. Ryan Gosling plays Jacob, the smooth, confident ladies' man. He's a full-time player, but all of that changes when he meets Hannah. The scene I want to focus on is where they finally end up back at his place, because that's where everything shifts.
It's not my favorite. Thank you. So is this how it normally works?
What?
You know, you put on the perfect song, you make them a drink, and then you sleep together.
Yeah.
I'm very nervous.
I'm getting that.
Okay, because I know I seemed confident back at the bar, but that was mostly just because I was cold and wet and trying to be dramatic a little bit.
You're adorable.
So throughout the movie, we see Jacob putting on this big act. He is the nonchalant hot guy who never goes beyond the surface. But when he's alone with Hannah, he does something completely unexpected. Instead of his usual seduction routine, he actually opens up. He tells stories and admits insecurities and makes fun of himself. He's nervous, and for once he's genuinely trying to connect. And this is the exact moment where intimacy takes over from performance. Jacob stops trying to win Hannah and starts trying to be seen and known by her. That's a huge turning point, and it teaches such an important lesson in vulnerability and authenticity, because that's how real relationships work. Building intimacy isn't about being perfect all the time or delivering a flawless performance. It's about letting the mask slip. When you let your partner see that ugly, messy, very human part of yourself, that's where real closeness can grow. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's true. The things that you think make you lovable, charm, confidence, achievements, they're not nearly as powerful as those moments where you allow yourself to be real. And that applies to long-term relationships too. If you want your partner to continue seeing you and connecting with you, you've got to show up authentically. Keep being vulnerable. That's how you stay close and keep growing closer. The Barbie movie, final breakup scene. I don't know who I am without you. Finally, we've got the Barbie movie, which beyond the glitter is actually full of interesting lessons about relationships and identity. So the scene that I want to focus on is toward the end, when Ken finally breaks down and opens up about his identity crisis.
I just don't know who I am without you.
You're Ken.
But it's Barbie and Ken. There is no just Ken. I feel so stupid. No. I look so stupid. I look so stupid! Oh, no! You look so cool!
Okay, Ken, you have to figure out who you are without me.
Why?
You're not your girlfriend. You're not your house. You're not your mink.
Beach?
Nope, you're not even Beach. Maybe all the things that you thought made you you aren't really you.
So Ken confesses, I don't know who I am without you. He's raw and vulnerable, and for the first time, we see the insecurity that's been driving his need to control Barbie Land. And what I really love here is how Barbie responds with compassion, but also complete honesty. You have to figure out who you are without me. Now, this is a really interesting dynamic that we see in relationships all the time. One partner builds their entire identity around the other and starts to define their self-worth entirely through the relationship. And that's what Ken does throughout this movie. He ties his self-worth directly to Barbie's attention, but Barbie refuses to carry that weight for him. She knows there's no real chance of connection if Ken is leaning on her to complete him. In that dynamic, the balance is off, and that creates pressure, resentment, and conflict. Healthy relationships are built on two whole people choosing to be together, not on one person depending on the other for their sense of self. It's about complementing each other, not completing each other. If you've ever felt responsible for carrying your partner's entire self-esteem, or if you found yourself trying to mold your partner into your source of validation, this scene is a wake-up call. The stronger your individual identities, the healthier the relationship dynamic. And here's the empowering part. By the end of the movie, Barbie and Ken go their separate ways. They both choose themselves, and that's okay. In fact, it's a powerful reminder that sometimes the healthiest thing you can do for your relationship is to step back, reclaim your individuality, and ensure that you're not losing yourself in the we. So that's a wrap on my Ryan Gosling relationship rundown. I hope you've had fun and also learned something interesting or valuable for your own relationships. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm sharing new content like this all the time. And if you want more expert relationship advice, check out the Paired app. It helps you check in with your partner, spark new conversations, and keep your relationship strong, no matter how busy life gets. I've dropped the link in the description below. Okay, thanks for watching. See you soon, and cut.